Hi, I'm Richard Blitz, the lead for QuickBooks Core Accounting, formerly QuickBooks Online. If there's one thing we know from talking to thousands of businesses, it is that one size does not fit all. Take, for example, the difference between project and product-based businesses. Even in one country, these look super different. Project-based businesses really care about managing contracts, customers, scheduling work, making sure that they're tracking time and expenses against jobs and that each job is profitable. Very different from product-based businesses, which care about inventory, reorder points, warehousing, shipping. If something goes wrong, managing returns. Even within the same country, these two businesses look very different. Their workflows are variable, a word you probably heard kicking around the hallways. It gets more complicated if we lay in different countries. In the US, for example, it's fairly lightly regulated. There's not a lot of requirements around what your chart of accounts needs to look like other than what your accountant says. And a sales form is pretty standard stuff. Very different from France, where how businesses work is very heavily regulated. Sales forms need to have specific information on it to be legal, and the chart of accounts needs to look a very specific way, and it's thousands of accounts long. So when we talk about variability, what we're talking about is this combination of how businesses want to work and how the government says they have to work, and that's variability. As you're designing a product or a feature, because one size doesn't fit all, a great thing to think about is how will businesses in different business types and people in different countries want to transform or change this feature so that it fits their needs very specifically, because that's how you delight, right? Right for me, right for my business. So as you're thinking about building something out, a good question to ask is, how do customers in these different business types or in these different countries want to adapt the thing that I'm going to build for their specific needs? And here's the real trick. How can you do that without requiring code? There's an initiative on right now to extract out information from QBO such that it can be handled in a config file. And what we're shooting for is that ultimately a product manager in 3 days can configure a product for lean testing in a new country or industry with no code and no involvement from PD. How awesome would that be? So when you're thinking about how you can enable what you're doing to be reconfigured, talk to your architect around how we're going to make this work. Some things to watch for. This is not a comprehensive list, and I'm not going to go through all of these with you, but just some things to watch for. Think about jobs, what each product business type that you're looking for is gonna want, and then within each job, how it's gonna vary between different business types. Think about language and terminology. Think about ecosystem partners, payroll, payments. They look very different from country to country. Do they look different between business types? And how are you gonna manage that kind of thing? If you're thinking about how you can make your product right for your particular customer set and then configurable for other customer sets we know we want to go after, we will end up in a great place. And more importantly, so will our customers. Thank you for your time.